Hey dealers, this is Sam Cook, the CEO and founder of ShapeShift Group. And no, this isn't gonna be an hour-long snooze-fest webinar, I promise. This video is gonna take about 10 minutes, and whether you're a dealership struggling to meet your sales goals or the #1 dealership in your region trying to keep #2 from ever catching up, you're gonna massively benefit from watching this video to understand how your dealership can leverage the latest ad technologies to acquire customers a lot cheaper, reduce your ad budget waste significantly, and how to get a lower cost per sale over time by actually optimizing your ad AI for sales, not just leads or clicks. And to eliminate your risk, we can literally guarantee your dealership will significantly profit from using our platform or you don't pay. To see how much profit your dealership can expect from using this, make sure you watch this video until the end. Here we go. I'm gonna do something opposite of what you're used to seeing from a marketing agency. I could sit here and talk about some of our best performing clients who've been with us for years, like this Toyota store in Iowa that sold 236 units and made $363,000 in gross profits over 6 months, which translates to 13x return in gross profits. Or this Chrysler store in Ohio that sold 67 units and made $156,000 in their first 4 months, which translates to a 14x return in gross profits. A lot of times, dealerships see these spectacular results and they ask me, Sam, is this gonna work for my dealership? Look, at this point, I've spent over 10 years in automotive marketing, and over the past 4 years have deployed over $7.6 million in dealership ad spend to perfect our inventory matchmaker platform to work for Ford and Chevy dealers on the East Coast, luxury dealerships in California, small independent lots in the Midwest. And today I'm actually going to show you how we took a hard case client, a struggling dealership in the middle of nowhere, to generating a 10x return in gross profits off of their ad spend in about 6 months' time. So we're gonna look at an Acura dealership in San Juan, Texas, a city that has a population of 36,000 people. Now, what makes the ShapeShift inventory matchmaker platform so powerful is we work with 10 different data partners, and each of these data partners has a way to determine who's looking for what types of vehicle based on many data points. Some are offline, some are online. If your ad campaign isn't working with data, the ad AI is going to start off just with very stupid inputs. It's not going to be able to quickly figure out who's looking to buy a car and who's not. So it's going to burn through thousands and thousands of dollars of your ad budget trying to find the right customers for your car. You can actually skip all that by working with the inventory matchmaker platform, because with our data partners, we can just plug in who's looking to buy what types of cars that you have, just like that. And your campaign is actually starting off really intelligently in terms of feeding the ad AI exactly the right directions to find your ideal car shopper. Look, if that sounds too technical, let me break it down in simple terms. If you are breeding horses, you want to start out with thoroughbred genetics. You don't want to start out with donkey genetics. So with our inventory matchmaker platform, I can just go in and type in Acura and have audiences to use. For example, this audience here, people likely to purchase an Acura based on social engagement. We've identified people highly engaged and most likely to purchase an Acura. Here's another one. Purchase consideration. Vehicle purchase intenders with top choice being Acura vehicle. Let me go into sedan. So they're doing a used car campaign, right? If they've got a bunch of used cars, I can draw in some sedan audiences. For example, people that are looking to buy entry-level luxury sedans. And so whatever inventory your dealership has, we can go in and find dozens and dozens of audiences that are relevant to your specific pieces of inventory, so that we're starting your ad campaign AI very intelligently. It's getting a head start versus burning through your ad budget, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And that's what makes the ShapeShift inventory matchmaker platform so powerful. So we've been doing this for over 4 years. With a lot of dealerships, we get it right straight out the gate and they see spectacular results right away. However, you have to understand that that's not the case for every single dealership in America. And with some dealerships, depending on your region, your inventory, there needs to be some fine tuning after an initial run. And so here's the kicker. Even though we started this dealership with our best practices, they ended up only selling one car their first month. They spent $2,950 in the month of May, and they made one sale, and they actually made a front end, back end gross of $48.67. But obviously, it wasn't anything to be excited about. Now, luckily, this GM was very savvy, and he understood that marketing is not a gumball machine type of scenario where you insert a quarter, you get a gumball right away, and it's instant gratification. With any marketing channel, doesn't matter if it's Google or Facebook, it takes some time for your agency to make adjustments to make it work specifically for your dealership. And the feedback this GM gave us in his first month was a lot of the people that were coming in for his SUVs, this guy carried a lot of luxury SUVs, they actually didn't qualify to buy a luxury SUV. So what we did with this particular ad set for his SUVs is we actually went in and excluded every household that had a income of $70,000 or less. And we also looked at credit scores, and we went in and we started excluding people who were subprime, which was the lowest 25% of credit scores in the nation. And we went ahead and excluded both certain incomes and certain credit scores from his particular ad set advertising luxury SUVs. So after we made these changes, we checked in a few months later. This campaign started in May. And in August, they had sold 3 cars, but that grossed them nearly $16,000 in front and back end gross. And keep in mind, their spend level was the same. It was still $2,950 per month. So with this result here, you're looking at an over 5x gross profit ROI. For every dollar they spent on marketing, they actually made over $5 back in front end, back end gross. And if you could put in $1,000 and make $5,000 back in front end, back end gross every single month, wouldn't you do that all day? So after this campaign had been running for a few months and we've gotten some more data on where the sales are, we made some more changes to get this dealership even more sales while keeping the budget the same. Here's what we did. There were certain vehicles this dealership was advertising that were eating up a bunch of the impressions, eating up a bunch of clicks, pretty much eating up a bunch of the ad spend, but they actually weren't the vehicles that were converting for this dealership into sales. So if I looked at their top performing vehicles here in our reporting, you can see that his top performing vehicle for this period of about 3 months was the Acura NXX, followed by the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, followed by the BMW i8, followed by the Acura NXX, again, a different Acura NXX. So you're talking about 45% of the budget just on these 4 vehicles of the sports cars category that was eating up their budget that actually was not translating into sales. Think about that. This dealership was losing at least 45% of their budget advertising their sports cars that actually was not translating into sales, even though on the surface, the metrics looked great, right? The click-through rate was great. These vehicles were getting a ton of clicks, was generating the dealership a ton of traffic in Google Analytics. And if they just looked at surface metrics, like most dealerships look at, like most agencies serve to dealerships, is surface metrics. Hey, look, you've gotten a 6% click-through rate across the board. Hey, look, you've got thousands of clicks this month. If they just looked at that, they would have continued bleeding their budget, spending money on vehicles that actually were not selling for them. And that's why I stress it is so important to actually optimize your ad AI towards sales, not leads, not impressions, not clicks, not likes. So think about your dealership right now, and it doesn't have to be your dealership advertising supercars. It could be a subset of your inventory, whether it is the higher mileage vehicles or trucks or sedans or whatever inventory makeup you have. There could be a subset of vehicles that is generating a lot of interest, a lot of buzz, a lot of clicks, but actually not selling anything for you and not doing anything for your bottom line. And think about how much ad budget you are losing every single day, every single week, every single month due to not tracking your ads based on sales and optimizing towards sales and telling the AI platforms, hey, get me more sales instead of, hey, get me more clicks. Even if it's 10%, 20%, 40%, as this accumulates over time, year over year, you're talking about wasting 6 to 7 figures on vehicles that are actually not selling cars for you. So after we had made some more of these changes, we checked in again 3 months later. And in November of the same year, this dealership sold 6 units and grossed $35,000 in front and back end gross while keeping the same spend. So they put in $29.50 in that particular month and they actually made back $35,000. You're looking at a over 11x, close to 12x return in gross profit off of their ad spend. So what this means is for every dollar that they spent on marketing, they actually made $11.87 back in profit, not sales, in front end and back end gross profit. Every store's definition of success is different. And for this store, it's not about selling volume. It's actually about selling their highline vehicles to a very small population. And it's all about gross profit. This store probably made more money selling these 6 vehicles than an independent lot selling 20 to 30 cars. Now, the reason I wanted to highlight this particular case study is I really want you guys to understand there is no technology, no marketing channel, no magic wand that's going to double your sales overnight. But if you're looking for a partner in social media advertising who specializes in this field, who is deploying the latest ad technologies and strategies, who has the correct targeting capabilities to reach your ideal shopper, and who is actually scaling your ads based on sales, not just vanity metrics like cheap cost per clicks and cheap cost per leads. Look, every smart GM or owner knows that they should be swapping out the best in-class service provider for every single thing they're doing. Why do we think we're the best in class? Because we can actually put our money where our mouth is and guarantee you an X amount of profit on your ad spend, or you don't pay for it. That's how confident we are in our process. So if you're a franchise dealer or large independent dealership and you want guaranteed results, guaranteed profit, scroll down to the bottom of this page and book a call. It's only gonna take about 20 minutes. Look, there's only so much information I can give you through a pre-recorded video. So if you really wanna understand how much profit, how much guaranteed results you can expect from our program, scroll down and book a call with me and my team. We're gonna take a look at your store, give you a glimpse of what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you're currently missing out on, and how we can scale your ads to be more profitable than it ever was before. And if you're not a franchise dealer or large independent dealership, you can book a call anyway. That's okay. We actually have a product that is separate from this that is very appropriate for smaller independent dealerships. This call is most likely going to be the most valuable 20 minutes you spend on your dealership this week, and most likely going to be the most profitable thing you implement in your dealership in the next coming year. So don't wait, don't procrastinate, because we all know that people that adopt technology early are going to be the ones that extract the most value from it while it's still early, while everyone else is still scratching their heads, wondering if it works or not, still slow to move. If you are an early mover and you're an early adopter, you can get ahead of the competition and put that moat bigger and bigger between you and the next guy. We're now in the AI revolution, and 5 to 6 years from now, this might not be as effective as it is today, especially if everyone else in your region starts deploying the same technology. But if you can get an early mover head start, imagine what a 10x, 11x, 12x return in gross profit could do for your dealership every single month.